Good afternoon, everybody. Another episode of the Real Life Podcast coming to you from Little Brick, the center of Edmonton. The office temperature can be described as mostly comfortable.
Nice today.
Very.
There's an adjunct heater that we plugged into the wall, which precludes everybody upstairs from being warm because it's their source of heat.
We cuddle.
Your boy Wanye's here. Baggedmilk's here.
That's right.
Special guest. Jared, you want to say your last name or you want to keep that shit on the DL?
Let's keep it on the DL.
All right.
Make them guess, you know?
Jared has joined the Nation Network in a very important capacity because he's in charge of audio and video and virtual reality coming in 2023.
Yep.
And anybody of the 11 people who listen to this podcast, 6 of which are me with different accounts, would know our audio got a little bit left in the lurch this summer because we tried to make a staffing change and it didn't work. And then Nation Dan, bless his heart, stepped up. And you came in on a Wednesday morning and tried to give us podcasting 101, and I dutifully wrote it all down.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
It worked.
Audio thoughts on this so far?
Yeah, I think we need an upgrade.
Yeah.
Dan did a good job for for a guy who had no idea how to do any podcasting before.
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job, but it was important we leveled up.
Yeah. And now we did.
Yeah.
And when Jared, you came aboard, and we're 3 weeks into working together.
This is start of week 3.
And you have now seen the curtain lifted back from the Nation Network, see what it is we claim to do for a living around here.
Yep.
And first of all, perhaps tell us a little bit about where your prior biography and business and life coming into this so people know who you are, so they know who to tweet at and say, why is Wanye yelling into that mic and why are the plosives so loud?
Plosives. I cut them, man.
They're out.
I cut them. They're so smooth now.
Yeah.
Right?
So where'd you come from?
I came from the world of recording.
Yeah.
Or recording of it Resonate.
Yeah. Resonate is a
Resonate
music studio.
School and studio.
I think it's a really cool, so it's a music studio in the west end of town.
Northwest Music School and Studio. One of the biggest in Western Canada.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And the kids go to the music school. And one of your early innovations for the business was if you go and do your practicing, you get an hour in the music studio. Is that correct?
It wasn't me, but yeah, that was part of the whole deal.
For the purposes of the podcast, it's you. Your name is Jared Resonate. The
Jared.
whole entire thing was your idea. And you also invented the microphone. Congratulations.
Yeah. And podcasting.
Yeah. But kids got to go to this school.
Yep.
And got to have some time in the studio.
Every 3 months, they get an hour with an engineer in the recording studio.
That's sick.
So they feel like a rock star for the day. It's great.
And that inspires them to go and do more music stuff.
Yeah, it gives them like an ends to learning an instrument other than I can play Mary Had a Little Lamb for Mom and Dad's friends when they come over.
Good track, though.
It's solid. It's
you heard it on electric guitar? Unbelievable.
Fire.
Blistering.
Little Pumps version's just
the Johnny
fire.
Lang version.
Straight fire.
Guitar joke for you. So you go to Resonate. You're there for 5 years. Is that correct?
Yep.
And during that time, it's now one of the biggest music schools in Western Canada.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you do a big gala. This is what got me really excited.
Yeah, we do we have a foundation as well called the Resonate Music Foundation. Provides low-income families with subsidized music lessons so everybody can enjoy the magic of music in their lives.
That's super important.
Yeah, it is. It's very healthy.
And they have a gala, the production value of which is better than the American Music Awards. And the kids come out and they do numbers in front of their friends and family in the audience and out at the
we did it at Meyer Horowitz last year at the U of A. And we had over 700 people attend, 18 songs, 18 bands. Bands of 11 to 35 people was the biggest band. And we did songs from the movies last time.
That's sick. I just imagine it's like School of Rock.
Exactly. That was actually the final song was the
oh, really?
Yeah, the song from School of Rock. So
that's sick. Like, do you ever take music lessons when you were a kid, Baggedmilk?
I always wanted to. Played several instruments.
Yeah.
The old man was like, I already pay for hockey. I'm not paying for music lessons too. And I was like, well, fair.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
It's a little cheaper than hockey.
Well, that's why he had to pick I think you picked the right move.
I had to pick my poison.
And that's why tonight you'll be suiting up for the St. Louis Blues.
That's right. Curse my shitty jeans.
Baggedmilk's actually got a lot of musical skill. He never talks about it.
Really?
Yeah, he's always secretive.
I like fiddling. I like noodling around on some stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
Run down the instruments you play for the kids.
Well, poorly. Like I should say, play poorly. At my house, I got guitar, piano, bass, mandolin, and I just bought a ukulele.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ukulele. becoming very popular.
They're fun.
That and harmonica.
Screwing around.
I'm surprised.
Look at you. Amazing. When you first told me that, I was impressed, and nothing impresses me.
I don't watch a lot of TV, so I try to fill my days with something a little bit more productive.
Well, that makes one of us sitting around this table. I, on the other hand, spent most of the weekend watching Fuck That's Delicious, the Action Bronson cooking show,
Great
and
show.
listening to Action Bronson songs while I made myself food to watch more episodes of the Action Bronson show.
It sounds better than it is on my end. I watched probably 6 episodes of Doomsday Preppers yesterday on Netflix.
Doomsday Prepper.
It's the best. I love it. They're like, there's an EMP coming. I need 10 years worth of food. I'm so in. I love that shit.
All you need to know is one Doomsday Prepper.
Yeah.
And then if shit goes down, you go to his
your guy.
buried school buses with a pickaxe. Next thing you know, you're living with his wife and weirdo kids because you've taken over.
I saw on the episode list that there's a couple from Edmonton on the season of Doomsday Preppers that I'm watching, and I can't wait to see what they're up to because now I'll know where they are and I'll have my food reserves sorted.
Maybe they're listening to this podcast right now.
Nobody's listening to this podcast.
11 people.
Well, so the numbers
Last
say.
time I looked at the numbers, it was 15.
15.
We're up.
Now we're working towards publishing on Spotify.
We're on Spotify now.
on Spotify.
We're on Stitcher Premium.
I don't know what that
on
means.
Google Play Music.
Hell yeah.
We're on everywhere.
Get it in you.
Yeah.
Wherever you get your podcast from.
Wherever you get podcasts from, we should be there now.
And we should remind everybody, this is a perfect time to remind everybody to subscribe.
Absolutely.
For free.
However you get your podcasts. If
Yeah.
you're streaming it to your smart coffee maker in the morning,
Yeah.
subscribe.
We'll put a link up to the RSS feed and it'll just load into your Apple phone and bring you new episodes every week automatically.
I had a buddy phone me over the weekend and say, how do I listen to this podcast? And I said, well, you can go on SoundCloud. You can go on iTunes. You can go on Google Play. And he's like, no. Like, where do I send the money? How do I listen to this? And I was like, oh, well, you just bring $40 down a little brick and you slide it under the door and then I will email you the podcast.
I like having max distribution. We're even putting things on YouTube now. We're just kind of casting a wider net for everything so that no matter where you're at, how you listen, how you want to watch, well, maybe not watch.
Yeah,
you can get it.
You can look at the picture
Sure.
on YouTube while it's playing.
Who doesn't want to do that?
Yeah.
That's nice. That reminds me of the optimal video angle we're creating downstairs in the podcast studio. Jared, do you want to make any threats or comments about the podcast studio you were promised?
I'd like to see it done. You know?
Yeah.
At some point.
I saw Chalmers in Cleveland, I believe.
Yeah. Chalmers is, how do I put this? Chalmers is a very busy trades guy in northern Alberta that lived through the boom.
Oh, okay.
The man has never had to worry about work.
Fair enough.
He has got a lineup of people around the block, and we did a very fair trade. Come on the podcast, help me build a podcast studio. I think he's done like 12 episodes, including drunkenly telling Brandon Davidson, who was about to tell us about the Nuge, to shut up, quote unquote, because his uncle has racehorses. Tremendous.
It was great.
If we were doing that in our own podcast studio, this would be an A+ business transaction. Well, I'm super jacked, Jared, because I think also I've seen the video quality improve, which is really important, right? We got to get better if we're going to be filming Donaire reviews and other bullshit.
The 1 Minute Men.
See, that's what I love. Is having a pro in-house to film our dumb shit ideas.
Yeah.
Like when we were shit-faced last weekend doing a Donaire review.
Yeah.
Just in a parking lot, there's Jared filming everything all pro-like, and I'm cackling laughing through the whole thing. That's all you can hear. It's just me laughing.
You know Violent Gentlemen? Are you familiar with that band?
Yeah.
So when Violent Gentlemen came up here one time, we took the Nation limo to Rexall. And Violent Gentlemen had their video guys. And they orbited Violent Gentlemen like electrons. Like they were just moving in like a 360 circle at all
They're just
times.
vlogging them the whole time.
Nervous for me because I'm, weird. And we get out and I got to the party late and I knew we weren't going to be able to talk much at the game. And I wanted to talk to them about some business stuff. So we get out of the Nation limo and these guys are circling around. These are the only video guys I've ever seen live. And I'm trying to make my point. I'm trying not to be on camera. And I walked right into a light pole. And the VG guys, bless their hearts, didn't want to laugh at me because you got respect in these streets. But I could tell they wanted to laugh.
Of course.
And I just thought to myself, this is why I don't have a video guy following me around all the time because embarrassing shit happens to me every 30 seconds. If you videotaped me walking into a pole, would you edit it out?
No.
That's a shame.
But I wouldn't be videotaping you.
Well,
First of all,
videotape is what do we even say?
recording?
VCRing.
Recording?
Video
Laserdisc, I think.
Betamaxing?
Betamaxing? Would you You're making a phonograph, I assume.
Yeah.
An oscillating photo of some sort.
Moving picture show.
The talkies. You're filming a talkie.
Yeah.
Videotape still plays, doesn't it? Baggedmilk? Thoughts?
Sure, of course.
Sure.
I got a copy of Basic Instinct on VHS somewhere still, I'm sure.
Do you remember the first time you saw Basic Instinct?
Yes.
There's a couple of movies that just like I think of in my mind.
Yeah.
Basic Instinct's one. There's a movie called Ski School 2.
Oh man,
What happens in Ski School 2?
And Ski Patrol.
They were just
That was
like
another
they were
great
just
one.
naked babes all the time. And it was just like for 10-year-old Baggedmilk, it was just heaven.
Sure.
So there was those two, and then now I'm blanking on the third one. But those two were just like, whew. Anyway.
Picture a 5-year-old Wanye. Head, same size. Profit 8. I'm out in Ottawa with my older cousins who are probably 12 and 14. My parents were doing parent things, uncle and aunt not watching, kids, basement. You know how this is going to go.
Yep.
I saw Alien and then a porno.
Do you remember what the porno was?
I don't know, a porno of some variety, but I was like, that woman is killing that man.
Was it an Aliens parody porno?
Like sex content and horror like fused in my brain into one amazing afternoon. And then I came upstairs and sat on the couch and saw Addicted to Love, that video by Robert Palmer.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, this is a formative day in my life.
Now you turned on by Guar concerts.
I saw the thing come out of the chest in Alien, and then I saw a nude chest, and then I ended it with Robert Palmer.
There you go.
That was a day, I'll tell
Hell
you.
of an afternoon.
So I don't remember seeing Basic Instinct because after that point, I was like, no, I don't want any of this.
That's a big day.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a real big day.
You can't, as an older cousin, overestimate the impact you have on a younger cousin when you introduce him to both horror as a genre and the adult film industry as a genre. I worry about little kids now. I worry because like you had to go to great lengths in those days to see nudity. And as
Find
I got
it
older,
in the woods, at a construction site,
exactly,
or your friend's big brother.
Or you needed like 20 minutes in the old, dial-up, the old 56K.
Yeah,
this is pre-internet of any sort. Or you had to like watch Showcase at 3 a.m. on a Friday.
Oh, yeah.
To see a weird French movie that has a love scene, which was worth it because you go to school on Monday morning and be like, anybody watching Showcase?
That's
of course,
what happened
everybody
to me
was.
this weekend, right?
But now kids can see whatever they want, whenever they want.
Yeah, just Google it,
Greedy.
and that's it.
Greedy
you Google
bastards,
the
these
nudity?
kids.
I think you can Google noodly.
I don't think Google has nudity. Pretty sure.
I remember a buddy of mine telling me that this is a gross story, but you have to remember the context. His like grade 2 son did a class project on beavers and went to the Google machine as one would. And it was not what he was looking for. And he said, times have changed, Wanye. It's no longer like when we were kids and you would go to the library and go to the encyclopedia and there was a quarter page on beavers and you copied down all the important facts and then tried to puff that out with a table of contents and do a 3-page report on beavers. Disastrous. So when you look at the Nation Network, Jared,
Yes.
what do you think? Where are the opportunities? What are we doing that's cool? Let's get an outside perspective as to what we're doing.
I really like the video content that's starting to come out. I think there's a lot of fun stuff we can do with that, especially around HQ. Kind of the day-to-day stuff that happens. There's a lot of fun stuff behind the scenes that people don't really get to see or hear. So there's a lot of potential for that, and the podcast stuff. I think that we can have a lot of fun with that, incorporating some video, maybe doing some live stuff. Obviously, there's some logistics to figure out about doing a live, real life podcast, but
Two of us are a little bit weird.
2/3 of the hosts don't want to be seen. But you're coming to the conclusion, Baggedmilk. You're more famous than you realize, and now you're doing beat casts on the front steps of the Pint. You're 45 seconds away from judging a hot topic
contest.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Wet t-shirt contest.
See,
at
and I
Diamonds.
disagree.
Really?
Doing a beat cast in front of the 10 people or whatever it was unique because I was way wasted.
Right.
Way drunk, or else that just doesn't happen.
No,
I go hide in the
true.
corner in the back. Or I'm like, Rick, I need to do this beat cast in the beer fridge.
In the office.
Yeah. So that was all that was.
Okay. Well, you know what? Audio Pro. I won't say videotape, but I will say video. Audio Video Pro here. Baggedmilk's unaging good looks. Sooner or later, these two are going to plug in.
I sold my soul to the devil, Jared.
Yeah, it's coming.
Thank you.
It's pretty interesting, the company, though, overall. Like the fact
Very.
that you hear a guy like Dan talking about walking down the street in Germany and people know who he is, and we're
Making German kids cry.
streaming it all from this little old house in the center of town. Like it's pretty interesting overall what's going on. It's a different world that we live in now for the media, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was watching the Action Bronson show. Let's talk about that a little bit more, Baggedmilk. And this lady comes up to him and goes, "Ooh, you're the star of this show?" And it's just like super dismissive. And he's just like, with the confidence of a man who's banged half of Earth and has 9 million in the bank, he's like, "It's a different age, lady." And just like patted her on the back and walked away. I'm like, it is a different age. It's a very different age.
Yeah, because now especially, I think even from when I started here, just getting stuff done, our dumb ideas that we have, executing them is so much easier now.
Well, because people are watching now. When we started out, it was still like you could name most of the citizens off the top of your head.
Yeah.
But like right now, as we're talking right now, Dusty Nielsen's recording a show on our Facebook page live. He just set it up, a camera in his house, and just away he goes. He's answering questions live right now. And I just think that's awesome.
Amazing.
I like knowing that we're kind of on top of that stuff as well. And as technology improves and as we have better options to play, that we're going to do it. Because why wouldn't we?
I agree. If you can get a company like Jägburger or a company like Get Sauced, makers of the colon destroyer, but that's neither here nor there. If they see the value as advertisers in these types of products in a world where how the hell do you even get anybody's attention anymore?
Yeah. Like our friends at Sherwood Ford, they're doing a Gus versus Frank. Like this is dogs picking treats off sheets and people love it.
Frank did a great job the other day, though.
Frank's back in the mix. 1-2 now. My boy Frank picking the Oilers 3 straight games.
Bang.
He's a homer.
It's good.
What are you going to do?
Got the faith.
Bless his heart.
He's got it going on.
Yeah, man. Like the first video that he did, almost 8,000 people watched Frank.
Unbelievable.
That's ridiculous.
That's 4 times the audience of a Carolina Hurricanes radio telecast.
Exactly.
Do we still say radio?
Telecast?
I think they are. They one of those ones that
All the
simulcast.
hell. This isn't my shtick.
Aren't they one of the teams that now simulcast radio and TV at the same time?
Because nobody's listening.
Yeah, that sucks.
When players talk about, I don't want to go to Edmonton because people care, I'd like to hear the counter argument of somebody who's like played in Carolina for 8 years. When they won against the Oilers, do you remember that, Jared?
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
I do.
But that's neither here nor there. They had to let all the arena employees as a paid shift come into the arena to watch the Cup parade, which just went around the arena.
Wow.
That was their parade?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Where would you rather ply your trade?
laps.
Would you rather ply your trade in Edmonton, where sure you'll get told off at the 7-Eleven when you're trying to buy beef jerky?
Why not? Only if things are bad.
Well, exactly.
Sure.
And things aren't going to go bad for...
11 more years, probably.
Or would you rather play in Carolina, where, yeah, your check clears, but...
Yeah, I mean, if you are really wanting to be the best of the best, then why wouldn't you want to be here? Do you know what I mean? If you're a guy like... Here's the way I look at it. If you're Connor McDavid and you win, when you win a cup here, you'll be a god forever.
God.
Forever.
Forever.
Just like old Gretz, man. Him and Cates went to the game on Saturday. Everybody's like, check these bad boys out. They
I didn't
mean
see
business.
them together, though. I saw him talking to Dolan, which is terrifying. And we'll get to that after this, because with our new audio-video chap present, I don't want to go over time by much more than 5 minutes. We'll be back. Real Life Podcast.
Alberta is where you find hard-working hands, where prairie-grown rye meets mountain spring water, where we pull dragons from the ground, and we choose Rig Hand Distillery. Vodka, whiskey, gin, and more. Rig Hand is made from Alberta-grown ingredients, locally distilled and distributed. It's a bottle of Alberta. Ask for award-winning Rig Hand in your liquor store and visit righanddistillery.com.
We're back. Real Life Podcast brought to you by our good friends at Rig Hand Distilleries, makers of all types of delicious liquor.
Had myself a double-double today, Wanye. What do you think of that?
Already?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Give him a week off.
Here at Little Brick?
That's right, son.
What'd that shot cost you?
I don't remember. Gave me a little deal. A little discount.
Oh, did they? Did they? Well, isn't that nice to know?
Old Baggedmilk comes in and said, hey, why don't you pour some of that double-double in that coffee?
Delicious.
It
Rig
was
Hand,
delightful.
thank you.
Warms the soul.
Are you stepping on Tim Horton trademarks? Probably. But as the Oilers Nation, you can get a long way stepping on trademarks. Nothing to worry about. Before the break, we were talking with Jared. Last name TBD. about the audio video plans for the nation going forward. And he talked about the difference of a media company, sort of he talked about, but the difference between a media company 20 years ago and a media company now. If you have an audience now, you can have 8,000 people watch a dog pick the winner of the game.
It's true.
That's right.
It's a brave new world.
2,000 people watch a man eat beets.
Man, eat beats.
Isn't that absurd? 2,000 people
hilarious.
watch me eat beets.
It's
I'm just riffing, asking questions, talking to the people. We're all in it together. That's how I looked at it.
What kind of shows do you want to do? What kind of content do you want to make, Jared?
Me personally.
Yeah, for us. What do you want to do now that you got the calm, as they say in Star Trek?
I don't know. Like I said, I think just around the office stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and it'll evolve into little segments like the Minutemen. I think that's hilarious. I don't know if you guys saw the Minutemen video
That's the best.
last week.
It's the best.
It
Oh, is that when they're
escalated
throwing snowballs?
Yeah. Chris takes one right in the melon.
just a headshot.
That's good.
And then the mailbox on the side of the fence just about got taken off
Yeah.
by a rocket.
Well, I think that with the opportunity now to do professional quality production,
Yeah.
a lot of opportunities will open themselves up for us.
Absolutely.
I think actual biographic content,
Yeah.
right? Like I look at a guy like the Nuge. I love the Nuge. There's nothing out there about the Nuge
Yeah.
in terms of information. And in an absence of understanding who the Nuge is, if you look him up, it's just the garbage me and Baggedmilk pump out where
That's
we call
right.
him a baby and we tell him he's good looking. And in the absence of power, there's a vacuum and garbage will rise to the top.
He's
Kinda
a full-grown man now, though.
well, exactly. He looks good.
Yeah,
His
real
neck is
good.
thick.
Neck's bigger than his head.
I would love a 30-minute documentary about the Nuge.
Yeah. I think that's definitely something that should be done.
I would like a documentary about every single Oiler in the roster.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't know much about these guys. Part of the reason I think Oilers fans are so mad at the team all the time is because they're not getting anything back in a lot of instances other than game time footage.
Yeah.
The interviews with the players are horrible. They're not presented as human beings.
Yeah. The social media doesn't do much in-depth stuff. It's more just kind of over-the-top coverage.
And we're left to make up shit
yeah.
to fill the void.
Yeah.
Right? I think Oilers Nation has a interesting opportunity if we can sort our relationships out with the powers that be to actually start making more content of what we want. So when we started off the website, my initial goal was we want a real Oilers website with real Oilers reporters and Gregor and Brownlee and Lowtide and Strudwick and Dusty Nielsen. And we've done that.
Yep.
And if Oilers Nation wasn't us, I would read it every single day because I love the Oilers and I want 24/7 content year round. Now I think one of the things that we should try and work towards, not just for the Oilers, but the other teams too, is like if you present these people as people, if players have personalities and you understand where they're coming from. I watched a show this morning called The Shop. Have you ever heard of that? It's a LeBron James show.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
LeBron James has a TV show. I don't know. That's why he became a Laker, I suppose. He's going to be in Avatar 2 too. But he sat down with Drake in a barbershop and some other dude I didn't recognize.
Great interview.
Unbelievable interview.
Yeah.
And they sit down and talked about real life, not like real life here brought to you by our friends at Rig Hand Distilleries, but actual real life. Drake's talking about having a kid and how his sketched out dad wasn't the best. And LeBron's talking about his dad. And I'm like, this is unbelievable content.
Beefing with Kanye.
Yeah.
It's the
Pusha
best.
T.
Oh,
If you saw Adam Larson sit down with somebody and be like, man, did I get stressed out when I got traded for Taylor Hall? Everybody here had such high expectations. I bet you expectations would shift and people would be like, well, Larson doesn't seem so bad.
well, yeah. That's why I like following all those dudes on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like you follow a guy like Adam Larson on Instagram, he's got a hilarious sense of humor. But does that ever come out through the Oilers channel itself? Never.
Not a chance.
And I think in the 80s, when we decided to stop writing the operations manual for the Oilers organization, 1989, I believe, is when we stopped working on it. It was a totally different world. There was 2 television channels. We still said videotape.
Yeah.
Good years. You didn't have to put out a lot of content because the small amount of content that you did put out was vacuumed up and there wasn't a lot of other things to do.
Yep.
Now we live in a world where there is an infinite amount of channels. Rappers have cooking shows.
Everybody has a camera in their pocket.
Everybody's streaming.
Yep.
People are watching Beatcasts and this, that, and the other. The competition for mind share is insane. You can watch remember back in the day, you could only watch local sports on TV, the occasional national thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You can go on Sportsnet 8 and watch bloody cricket from Mumbai at 3 a.m. Like, if you want to watch sports and you have a television, the Oilers are not your only choice anymore.
Yeah.
Well, even I remember like A Channel. Do you remember when A Channel used to have Oilers games and they were like, we're broadcasting 5 games a month or whatever. And we're like, wow.
Holy shit, 5 games.
Yeah. Otherwise, you had to sit there, Theater of the Mind style, which was awesome, listening to Rod Phillips.
Wow. We were very fortunate,
of course,
to have Rod
He's
Phillips call the Oilers games of the yesteryear. But nowadays, I don't know what their listenership is like. But like, unless you're rolling around in your car, being able to see every single Oilers game is now a certainty.
Have you ever done the
For
thing?
better or worse?
You go to a lot of games. Have you ever done the thing where you're just sitting in the arena and you're listening to Jack or whatever?
For sure. When I used to go to the games with my grandma in junior high, she was blind, so she rocked earphones.
Yeah.
And I remember like one season in being like, well, why don't I have earphones? So I got, and at the time this was exciting, a 2 earplug port Walkman.
Ooh.
And then we both listened to games. It adds a lot.
Sure.
Nice.
It adds a lot to the experience.
I've never done it. I've always wanted to.
Jack Michaels is a phenomenal play-by-play.
I like Jack Michaels.
He does a very, very good job.
He gets you fired up.
And listening to him beef with Stauffer is quite entertaining.
Oh, the best.
I find that to be.
See Stauffer's tweet that he deleted from the other day?
What was he? Was he drunk?
I don't know.
We
But I
should read
screen
that.
capped it.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Yeah.
Oh, you know I did.
Did you see this, Jared?
I did not.
It's pretty fantastic. He goes, this is 7:24 local time. So that would have been 9.
After the game. This is Saturday night.
Yeah. Or the 12th, whatever the 12th was. Friday.
Friday night. Oh, this is before the matinee game.
In New York.
Friday night in New York.
7:30.
So it's 9:30 in New
9:30,
York, and
yeah.
he comes out with, all right, Oilers fans, this is how it works. Guys know what they know. Larry Robinson defers to Montreal and New Jersey, defense first. Gretzky and Coffey in Edmonton, offense. LA, Stevens can tell the story. BS, it reverts to Daryl Sutter. Defense, that's hockey. He got ratioed so bad. But like,
He got what?
Ratioed. So like, if you look at Twitter, right, and you pull up a tweet and somebody gets ratioed, it'll have like 2,000 replies, no retweets, 3 favorites.
Ratioed.
Okay.
But his ratio was hilarious because it was just 300 people sending GIFs being like, what the hell are you talking about? The best. And then it was gone yesterday. Even Dusty Nielsen chirped him on Friday night. It's the best.
You can never surrender those tweets. You got to just leave them out there.
Yeah, why not?
What was he trying to say?
I don't know.
Was he just drunk on...
He put some words out there, though, that's for sure.
I love talking down to Oilers fans. I love like, this is how it works to start your tweet and then just Kanye West levels of gibberish thereafter. Thank you, Bob. Thank you for telling me how it works.
That's hockey.
What it is in this situation, I assume, is this is how an announcer drunk at 9:30 in Gotham talks when they're 0-2 to start the year.
Yeah, it was the best. I loved it.
Stauffer.
But like you said, you just own it.
Yeah.
Like if that was my tweet, and Lord knows I put out some drunk tweets that are just
Sure.
ridiculous. The
Of
next
course.
morning I look at it and go, whew, that was a bad one,
The
Baggy.
worst.
But you
Shut her down.
leave the blood on the blade, though. You don't
Yeah, of
take
course.
them off, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Just leave it up.
Yeah. Little hieroglyphics in there. He's like
Yeah,
writing
right?
ring dings or something.
Put a triangle. Get the Illuminati people on it.
They're involved.
Right? Trilateral Commission.
Oh, yeah. Bilderberg Group.
Oh, I know them. Yeah.
We could do a whole podcast on the stuff we know.
There you go.
around
That's
this
the next
table.
podcast.
Yeah. What do you think about people freaking out Bag Milk that Cates was there? I thought that was so funny.
I thought it was hilarious too because there was 2 camps, right? Mark Spector came out and was like, oh my God, Daryl Cates is at the game. You never see him. Jim Matheson jumps in. He's like, you never see Daryl Cates at the game. He must have flown in for this. And then John Shannon ruins everything. Was like, actually, Daryl Cates has been living in New York for a little while. He's probably just going to see the game.
Yeah. Because, he owns the team.
Yeah.
And he didn't sit with Gretzky.
No, but they said they showed up together. So where was Daryl?
Well, he's probably in a box.
Yeah, but where? Who's he sitting with? That's what I want to
He's
know.
probably in the Dolan box, I'm guessing. There's like a informal G code that when they're visiting owners in town, especially for a shit matinee.
Hook them up.
Yeah.
Get them up top.
I loved seeing Dolan talking to Gretzky in the stands, though. That was mildly alarming.
Yeah, a little bit.
What you got to do, Wayne, is use the Knicks as your prototype thing. Just completely disconnect from the community, throw garbage contracts at everybody, and hope rappers wear your jerseys in videos to spur merchandise sales.
I haven't been wearing Knicks jerseys for a while.
And Gretzky, when he was talking, I love the shot they showed where he's just like kind of like listening but not listening, and they're not even sitting in the same row. God almighty. If there's one owner not to talk to, it's Dolan.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Guy.
You know what? I feel bad for Wayne. He just wants to be playoff party Wayne.
Yeah.
We need to get him back there because I miss the reactions. I miss the GIFs. I miss all that.
The dancing Wayne.
Dancing Wayne's the best.
I love how dialed into games he is when he's watching. Right? Like even that conversation with Dolan, he's like, Knicks, Charles Oakley, poor decision. Okay, yes. But he's like watching the play the whole time. In the playoffs, even like the gifts you mentioned, Baggedmilk, they were so good.
The best.
Because he's dialed in.
Of course.
He's 84 Gretzky.
Hell yeah.
Just in the stands.
Of course, man. It's the best. I love watching Wayne get excited.
Yeah.
I like when he's pissed off that something goes bad. I liked basically having an ISO cam on him for 2 months.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I also loved the interview with Trevor Gretzky with Principe.
A little bit toned down.
That was good.
Need some energy.
Well, did you watch that at all, Jared? Or can we
Nope.
No, it's all right, buddy. Don't worry about that. You don't need to worry about intermission interviews. Me and Baggedmilk
Not my
will handle
job.
this level crazy. First of all, I love that Trevor is making a movie with Wahlberg that is funded by Alibaba, the giant internet website.
Yeah, it's the best.
That's good.
Oh, man.
I love that Principe was just throwing him softball questions and Trevor wasn't having it. Like, ever watch your mom's movies? He's like, yeah, I watch them all the time. She's amazing. She's the reason why I'm an actor. What I felt bad for Trevor was when he's like, yeah, so now you're making movies because your athletic career didn't pan out.
Oh.
And you actually see Trevor wince like, and he's like, yeah, I had to get 2 shoulder surgeries. And
It'd be tough, though, being Wayne's kids and trying to play sports. I don't care what
Yep.
sport it is. Do you know what I mean? Learn how to code.
yeah,
That's what I would do.
for sure.
Yeah, if I'm Wayne, I'm telling Paulina to learn how to code.
The Gretzky kids, from all I've ever seen, are remarkably nice kids.
Sure. I know Rick from the Pint knows the Gretzky boys, and he says they're great.
Very nice guys. And Trevor, like, he's a minor league baseball player. Yep. That's still good.
Better than I do.
Like, we were talking about this yesterday. We were watching the game on Saturday. A buddy and I were watching it, and we said, you know, the funny thing is about like a guy like Bressois or a guy like Delorier or a guy like Dubnyk who are garbage, quote unquote, in an Oilers uniform and then go somewhere else and kill it. Let's say there's 31 teams, 62 goalies in the NHL. Let's say that's 60% of the top 100 goalies in the world. Is that a fair statement?
Sure.
So if there's 100 really good goalies in the world, 60% of them are playing in the NHL.
Probably.
If you're Devin Dubnyk and you're playing for a defenseless Oilers, getting shelled all the time, and you're still a starter, and then you go to a team like Minnesota, which plays the trap, and actually is going to like stop stuff from getting to you and clear away rebounds, you are largely the same exact person. You went from being the 40th best goalie in the world to the 3rd best goalie in the world who won a Vezina that year.
Yeah.
You could take 1993 Patrick Waugh and put them on the 2012 Oilers, and that motherfucker will get lit up.
And then he would get chirped.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Edmonton fans are ruthless.
We do not give these guys enough credit, and this is part, I think, humanizing players, but we do not give them enough credit that even a crappy Oiler is still an unbelievable hockey player.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Do you remember former Oiler Mark Fistrick?
Yes.
Played a cup of coffee here. Of
course.
A little bit. I used to play shinny with him,
Yeah.
and he was dominant. It's not like Mark Fistrick, the guy who was in and out of the lineup, can't play hockey. He dominated all of us. And, you know, that just kind of shows the level, like you're a guy that's in and out, but you're still way better than anybody.
Oh, for sure.
Like even just last week, I think it was, maybe 2 weeks ago, George Larocque, it was the anniversary of when he got that hat trick for the Oilers.
Oh, that was amazing.
And you're just like, fuck, man. He just like a nice little dangle in the finisher. And you're like, Big George could play.
Yeah.
Looked up his stats. He had double-digit goals that year. Like, man, forget about that.
It's too bad Jay's not here because he'd tell the story about playing with Kelly Buchberger retired edition. Kelly Buchberger went out to men's league and was unbelievable. Like bar down, lights out, fighting fit, skating circles around everybody in their mid-20s. Like he was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are in the big show for a reason, right?
The worst player in the NHL is still better than anybody we know.
Yeah. Well, that was like when John Scott got voted to the All-Star game a few years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody, there was two camps. People like me, I thought it was awesome just because the spectacle of it all. Whereas other people were like, fuck John Scott, he doesn't deserve to be there. And he comes out and says, like, listen, it's not like I won a scratch ticket that I got to the NHL.
Yeah.
I busted my ass to get here. I can still play.
For sure.
I just think that
And what, the
gets lost.
sanctity of the All-Star game has been destroyed?
Oh, heaven forbid.
Oh no, who's going to win the Honda Pilot afterwards?
Heaven forbid they have fun at the fucking All-Star game.
I think the players loved John Scott being
Sure. I remember them lifting up on their shoulders. MVP of the game?
Did they lift him up on their shoulders?
Absolutely. It was a little, there was teetering there for a little bit. I was scared.
Boy.
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
Won the car.
Let's take a break. We'll come back after this Real Life Podcast.
Have you got holes to dig, earth to pack, and roads to build? Then you need to call Japa Machinery Group. Does your equipment need a service? You can't fix stupid, but here at Japa Machinery Group, we can fix everything else. With a full range of parts to keep your equipment running smoothly. Japa Machinery Group is a family-operated and Alberta-grown business. Here to help build a bigger and better Western Canada. Give us a call or visit us at japamachinery.com. Japa Machinery Group. Join the family.
We're back, Real Life Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Japa. Talking about equipment, talking about service, talking about it doesn't matter if you got a J14 and took it up past the Arctic Circle up to Iqaluit.
J14 works well up there.
They will come fix your shit.
Hell yeah, they will.
They'll be there in a flash.
You need a 650, they'll get you one.
They're there already?
Damn right.
920 and the 930.
The 930, that shit breaks down.
Well, you got to be careful.
Well,
Got to just ease the levers, as it were. Up and down, forward, back, spins.
this guy gets it. He get it.
Yeah.
You and I wouldn't last an hour in the real world.
No.
I'd sit down in a cockpit of some sort of piece of equipment. There'd be 4 levers there. I'd be looking for the send button on Twitter. Doesn't exist.
Does not.
Thank God Japa's here to service people who have real jobs.
I am so jealous of people with practical skills.
Like the ukulele.
Sure.
It's a great skill.
I mean, it's something that our friends at Japa, they probably don't care about a ukulele.
Bet you
care
they
about
could
the
fix it if
930.
it broke.
Probably. I can't fix shit. You know what I have to do? Buy a new one. Part broken.
I can live with broken shit for a long time.
I went 6 months. And this is no joke. I went 6 months without fixing the faucet in my kitchen because one side was leaking. So I just spun it to the other side and used that one.
Doesn't happen to
What
me.
are you going to do?
I'm like this. I occasionally a third party with some fucking sense will come into my life and take a quick assessment of how I'm living and be like, what, huh? E.g. example. When we moved into Wanye Manor 2, we're 3 years into it now. Nobody'd lived in the house for like a year. That's why we got a deal on it. And they'd winterized the house. So all the toilets were like taped shut. Do not touch. I left that on the one in my ensuite for 5 months because I didn't know what you had to do, but the one down the hall worked. So I would leave and go down the hall and then come back.
Said don't touch.
One day Jay's walking by. He's like, why the hell do you still have your toilet tape shut? I'm like, I don't know. It says don't touch. He's like, that's not for us, you idiot. That was for when the house was empty for a year and a half. I took mine off day 2. I'm like, well, it wasn't on the one down the hall, so I've been using that one. He's like, you've been walking around the corner for months?
Makes sense to me.
I couldn't work for a Japa.
I couldn't work for anything that I have to use my hands.
People call me out and be like, hey, the flangulator's broken on the J14. I'd be like, well, fucking don't use it then.
Yeah.
Just use the backhoe down the street and borrow that.
Use the
Light it on
950.
fire.
Jared, are you a guy who knows everything and fixes everything? You seem pretty on top of your shit. No?
Like little things.
Like if your car breaks down, do you have an idea of what's going on?
Yeah. I pull out my phone and I call AMA and they will come and fix it.
See, that's where I'm
As far
at.
as I go.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I can fix Lego.
Lego?
If my son's Lego comes apart.
I don't know that that's necessarily fixing Lego. I
Stacking
think that's
Lego
using
bricks.
Lego.
Yeah, well, if it's built and it breaks, then it needs to be repaired.
That's fair.
I was bad at Lego too. I don't have.
How can you be bad at Lego?
I don't have patience for puzzles.
Lego's not a puzzle.
It's not
Sure
a
it is.
game.
What's that?
It's not a game.
No.
I don't have
It's
patience
real.
for that.
Lego's real.
No, not to me.
What'd you play with as a kid? Myself.
Ninja
Rim
Turtles.
shot.
Oh well, plenty of that. Plenty of that.
I
No,
saw Alien. I get it.
Wow. No, Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles is my jam.
Ninja Turtles.
Action figures. Give them to me.
So you just sit there and work out mock battles between Splinter and Donatello?
Sure. Sure. Play little sports.
That's true.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of time in the old Wanye household devoted to sports as a child.
What were you doing when you were a kid?
Reading.
See, I didn't get into reading until I was in my 20s.
Really?
Yeah. Wasn't for me.
No, fair enough.
What are these books for? Get out of here. I was dialing up.
Dialing up.
Hell
One
yeah.
strand at a time, looking at photos. You know what I'm talking about. Wink.
That's right.
Jared, what'd you do when you were a little
O'Neil.
kid? Were you busy? Were you a busy guy?
Yeah. A little bit of sports.
Yeah.
A little swimming.
Any hockey?
Nope.
Bad.
I played
Good
one.
man.
I played 1 year
Yeah.
in the roller hockey league when it started in Edmonton.
Jeez.
The first year.
Of course.
And then,
at the soccer center in the West End?
No, it was Northlands
Oh,
in the SportX. back in the day.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It was great.
Roller hockey.
Roller
Remember that?
hockey.
Yeah.
Remember how Pat Maroon
I was
came
going to say
to
he
us?
could have been the next Pat Maroon.
Pat Maroon, former Oiler, he cut his teeth in roller hockey.
Really?
That's how he made his shit happen.
he
Remember there
said
was
he
like
had
a
his-
roller hockey league out in California and they played outside?
Yeah.
Was there?
Yeah.
Was this a Mighty Ducks thing? I feel like this was from the Mighty
No,
Ducks.
no,
This
no.
is
It was like a legit
Like on the
league.
beach. Like
Yeah.
I remember like Long Beach having a team.
Yeah.
And everybody's sitting there watching outside. That's not how you're supposed to watch hockey.
No.
Yeah. I'd be into it though, sitting in the sun. Probably can't drink though.
You want to hear something crazy about rollerblades? Did you know they were invented in Edmonton?
Really?
They were. They were invented by a U of A professor.
No way.
Yeah. Who was trying to design like a rehab technology for skaters.
Makes sense.
Amazing.
Sure.
That guy's rich.
Oh, hell yeah.
You invent rollerblades?
Or is he one of the people that sold Apple stock, for $300?
Ronald Wayne. You know about Ronald Wayne? The guy who sold 10% of Apple for
Oh, yeah.
It was like,
grand or something?
yeah, some stupid.
Like $15 billion.
Woz and Jobs hired him to be the adult referee in the company. Then turned out he was the bitch, and they had to let him go. Ronald Wayne.
Oops.
I love how they did that one documentary with him when they were in Vegas, and he got to like have a limo, and they were going down the strip with him, and he's like, "I don't regret anything." You fucking lie, Ronald.
Yeah.
You are a liar.
Every morning, that guy looks at himself in the mirror and just shakes his
You could have admin access to iTunes.
Yeah.
You could decide what's
He could have
number
everything.
one.
He could have whatever he wanted.
Companies, though, always shake off shady early founders. Like the original founder of Tesla. Ever seen that guy?
No.
He's like still pissed. He's like, yeah, Elon Musk came in here and pushed me right out of the company. Like, buddy, what are you even talking about? Like, you've been running Tesla for a decade and you had like one operating vehicle and now he's brought it to the masses.
Tesla Keela now.
Oh, man. You see that? They're going to release a tequila from Tesla?
Alcohol?
Yeah.
Elon's getting it.
Why?
Poor Elon, man.
For
Like,
what?
Yeah, because he made a joke about, was it on Insta or something, but it showed him lying against a 3 Series or Model 3 or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Sad. He claimed the company had gone bankrupt. It was April Fool's. It was April Fool's. And he had a bottle of tequila, and people wouldn't leave alone this idea of Tesla tequila. They got to give Elon a vacation.
Yeah. They just need to let him do his thing.
He goes to Burning Man every year.
That's not a
Brings the
vacation.
company.
He needs like 3 to 6 months to reset his shit. He's the smartest human being of all time,
He's
in
very
my
smart.
mind. And not just in like engineering prowess, but actual like business acumen and willpower to force shit into being.
PayPal.
The whole thing.
I've listened to the Joe Rogan podcast with him twice.
Yeah.
I still don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Oh, he's talking about the electric jet and Lyft.
I'm just way too dumb. Like, if I was in a room with Elon Musk, I wouldn't even know what to say to him. You made your car dance. That's fun. That's all I got.
It'd be a tough one. I feel for that guy. So he needs a break. Otherwise, we're going to be putting out flamethrowers and tequila and all sorts of other bullshit, and we're never going to get that flying jet.
I assume you've seen that documentary Slingshot about Dean Kamen. How he invented the Segway, and then now he's basically putting all his effort into the water crisis. Like getting clean water for everybody.
No.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's called Slingshot.
Let me write that.
Fantastic documentary. But what I didn't remember about the Segway is that they were labeling it as like the next big thing.
When it was called individual
Yeah.
transport. I remember that.
It's going to change the way people travel.
Yeah.
I've still never been on one. Not once.
I went on one in Orange County and fell off twice because I was mostly drunk. And despite the guy who was the guide saying, "Don't worry, no one ever falls off these things," I did. A branch hit me in the face as I was going underneath a tree, and I also took a corner too close.
I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube of people hilariously falling off those things.
And then the president, remember how he went off the cliff, and
Sure
that was
did.
the end of that.
Yep.
That's not
That's not just a myth.
No.
Oh,
They don't know if it malfunctioned or if he took the Segway off the edge.
Somebody
Bonnie
had a
and
little
Clyde
remote
style.
control.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Or Thelma and Louise. Away they go.
Oh, that's a good flick.
Right?
Great movie.
Away they go.
Brad Pitt.
Young Brad Pitt.
Very young Brad Pitt. An unknown Brad Pitt at
Handsome
the time.
devil. I just watched Legends of the Fall the other day.
Oh, featuring Eric Johnson.
Exactly. Young Eric Johnson, friend of the nation.
Yeah.
Played young Brad Pitt.
Filmed in Alberta.
When I remember talking to Eric Johnson on Google Chat very early on in the nation, he's like, "Hey, if you ever need anybody to help write for you," and I was like, "Are you kidding? We have 3 writers. Fuck off." And he's like, "Oh, I should also mention I'm kind of famous." And I was like, "Okay, what did you do?" And he just went, "Young Brad Pitt and Legends of the Fall." And I went, "Whoa."
Fair
One of
enough.
the nicest dudes ever. that
Nicest guy
I've met
and
through
he
this
is
job.
actually a legitimate
He's in
star.
Ireland right now filming Vikings.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's awesome.
He's a working dude. You remember the show The Nick?
Great show.
Great show.
Clive Owen.
Amazing.
Best.
HBO.
Did a lot of heroin or morphine, something like that.
In the
Not
show.
real
Yeah,
Eric.
yeah.
TV Eric.
He's amazing.
He always plays a bad guy. He's 50 Shades. Miss Milk went and saw the 50 Shades movies he's in.
Oh, yeah?
We've gone to dinner with Eric. And then she's coming back. She's like, I don't know if I can go to dinner with Eric anymore because he's so mean in that movie.
You went to dinner with Eric?
Yeah, when he's in town.
Is he left-handed or right-handed?
He's a right-hander.
What did he order?
Ribs?
Did you keep any of them afterwards?
Of course.
You can sell those for a good price.
Do people recognize him when he's out?
No, which is super interesting because there was a group of us. We went to meet on White Ave. And Eric was just kind of like, it's kind of interesting going out with him because it's like, we're technically the same species, but you're just way more handsome than everybody else here.
Don't sell yourself short.
All these like the waitresses and shit, they go over there and they're like, what's the deal with this like guy that's with you down at the end? We're like, do you know who he is? No, but I'd like to. I was like, oh, God bless. God bless. He's got this big fucking Viking beard on too. It's the best.
Oh, you went out for dinner with him in Viking mode?
Yeah. Because he was contracted. He had to have that thing on for like 2 years or something like that.
I feel like he's one of those guys, and gals for that matter, but they have like the sprinkling of pixie dust on them. When you see them, you're like, who the hell is that? Like they just have the self-assuredness of somebody who... He's
just an interesting dude. We interviewed him on North by Northwest 100 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he was telling us about like how his first ever commercial, he was in junior high or something like that. And it was for like a Nerf gun. And he goes back to school just being like, yeah, I was in the Nerf gun commercial kind of thing or whatever. And everybody's like, I don't care. Get out of here, actor guy. I was like, really? I would have expected everybody's like, so cool. You're in a commercial? No.
Kids are haters though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Big time.
I remember a kid I was in kindergarten with won a Corvette, a draw at Safeway. And like he left and then he came back into the room and he was like, he got called down the office and he's like, oh, I won a car. And we all had to clap, right? So we're like 5 and we're clapping and we have no idea what we're clapping for. And he said, I remember him saying, not then, but later, like, well, my mom sold it and I get the money when I'm 18. Because I don't think the entry form had like a 18 or over condition on it. Well, fast forward to grade 12, I'm in his high school and I went up to him and I was like, hey, do you get your Corvette money from Safeway now? He's like, I do get my Corvette money from Safeway now. And then I proceeded to tell everybody, I remember my boy Jesse, still remember his name, Jesse. 13 years ago, he won a Corvette. Kids weren't impressed.
Haters.
Yeah. And then another girl at our high school won the big Power 92 contest. Remember back in the day when Power 92 did crazy contests? And you
Show
got
me my money.
Jeep and you got a shopping spree. A girl at our school won that.
That's awesome.
I remember her coming into school in her new Jeep Cherokee. And I like ran out of class. Like, woo, here we go. We know a rich girl. Nobody was impressed.
I think being happy for other people is like a seriously deficient thing that people have or don't have, I should say.
Really?
Yeah. I just think everybody's just like, how does this affect me? How does this affect the Maple Leafs?
Oh man, I love people around me doing well, or people that I know, because then when I'm lying awake at night, I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm like, well, there was that girl who won the Power 92 contest back in grade 12. Her shit worked out pretty good. Maybe you're the next one of that.
Oh man, Power 92. It's called the Chuck now.
Yeah.
I think
gotta go back.
If you're going to rock a 90s music channel of nostalgia, you bring back Power 92.
Absolutely. And bring back Maynard. Remember that guy?
Yeah, you bring back the phrase that pays.
Bring back Shotgun Sean Evans.
Boom.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you know him.
That's the guy that we're supposed to talk to about podcasts.
Shotgun Sean?
No.
Nope, that's Matt Mahler.
Different guy.
Sorry.
Oh, Matt Mahler from The Bear. And Rick D's doing the countdown.
Oh,
Get
weekly
out.
top 40?
Absolutely. He's playing Disco Duck whenever he wants. Fucking right.
Damn right. So let's take a break. Real life podcast back after this.
SumoJerky.com. You've been through the gas station. You've seen all the flavors, teriyaki, black pepper, maybe extra hot, sweet chili. That's about as exotic as it gets. But if you subscribe to Sumo Jerky at SumoJerky.com, check them out online, enter your preferences. They source out the finest small batch handcrafted maw and paw jerky from all over the world. They have all your favorite flavors, but it's high quality handcrafted versions of your favorite flavors, and they get exotic as well. Exotic jerky from exotic animals, or play it straight and stick with beef. Enter your preferences at SumoJerky.com. It shows up once a month. Deliver it as a gift if you like. Have it sent to your work for a little pick-me-up during the day. SumoJerky.com. Follow them on Instagram at SumoJerky for pictures of their meat, or sign up for the service yourself. SumoJerky.com. Once a month, meat delivered right to your door. It's the home delivery service you didn't realize you need until it started showing up. My favorite day of the month is Sumo Jerky Delivery Day. SumoJerky.com to get started.
We're back. Real life podcast brought to you by Sumo Jerky. At the break,
We crushed our sumo jerky. this
Yeah, it
month.
went quick.
Real fast.
good flavors this month.
Yeah.
The habanero one was good.
Yeah.
You thought it was hot though, right, Jared?
Yeah, I found it spicy. I like spicy things.
Sumo jerky's cool, hey?
It's very cool.
Ah, sweet. If you can't trust guys on your podcast to give you a square assessment of your online snack business, who can you trust?
I would say it's the best mail order jerky in the world.
I'll be honest with you, it is rated number 1.
Yeah.
A guy hit me up asking me this week if I wanted to buy his subscription jerky business. We came out in 2014. It's a quarter of the size of sumo jerky. I laugh at his reach. I laugh at his subscriber base.
Sure.
He made a bunch of ads. We were looking at those beforehand.
Yep.
Super weird.
With the Arby's dude.
Very strange. It's a very competitive industry, snack foods.
Especially the jerky market, I would imagine.
Delish.
I look forward to it every month.
Now, at the break, while we were figuring out what we're going to talk about, I apologize to all 11 people listening to this show because we have
15,
talked about
15.
15. We have talked about nothing. People rely on us. Baggedmilk, do you know any breaking news about the Oilers? Anything huge coming down the pipe? Maybe a Draisaitl trade? Anything?
Yes. No. I was looking around during the break trying to figure it out. All that people are talking about is the power play. Power play and the fact that McDeezy's involved in all 5 Oilers goals this season.
The tricky thing about this show, Jared, is staying positive, one,
Yeah.
because we're not going to talk about no negative shit. What was the name of that comedian?
Guy Fieri.
That's the one. He came on the show and he was about to drop some negative bombs. And I was like, no, sir, not here, not now.
Yeah.
So in the absence of good Oilers news, we have to talk about other positive shit tangentially related to our business and company.
Yeah.
It's a tough one right now. They're 1-2.
I still feel good.
I feel great.
Because you know what? They traveled, I think Terry Jones tweeted out, something like 17,000 miles or whatever.
So 3 games.
To play 3 games. And if they can get out of Winnipeg with 2-2, man,
It's a long drive to Winnipeg, though.
crazy long drive, especially since they don't have an airport.
While the
Yeah.
airport shut down.
Yeah, they had to fly from New York back to Edmonton because they were in Edmonton. Now they're flying to somewhere.
Why couldn't they land on the Red River in some sort of seaplane?
Not frozen yet. Oh, in the seaplane. Well, they could have. Kate's, where you at, man?
Got to be smarter. He's in New York.
You can afford a seaplane.
When people are like, oh, the Oilers have 5 goals in the season, McDavid's in on all 5. You know what I hear? Connor McDavid's off to a good start.
Connor McDavid's off to a great start.
Sure is.
Looks fantastic.
Looks amazing.
I can't get over the hair. The hair is in mid-season form.
He looks fantastic.
Flowing out the back of his helmet. Whipping around. It's great.
I can't wait to see what he looks like when he's 25.
Oh, he'll be dead fire sexy.
He'll have 11 wristwatches on, each more valuable than the last. A pendant of his own face. And I'm imagining like
a piece?
Tekashi 69. What's that?
Like a big
Yeah, like a
diamond
spinning
piece?
Jesus piece, but it's his head
Ooh,
going.
nice.
I would
a
rock
Mick
that.
Jesus piece.
Exactly.
Can't say that.
We can't say McJesus.
Yeah,
I
we
offended
can't.
Mrs. McDavid.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, I laughed about everybody tripping because Cates was at the game.
Yeah, it turns out he was just in New York.
I'm
He's
glad
like-
John Shannon had the sense to set everybody right.
Well, I wrote about it in the wrap up because I didn't know that yet. I saw the tweet after, and I'm like, there's 2 things that are going on. One, and it's more interesting, if he flew across the country from wherever he lives at the point to just go to a matinee game, really angry. Angry Daryl, I like it. Fire everybody. And then I was like, or maybe he was just in New York because he's like a businessman doing business things.
Yeah, it's not like he sold a $1 billion corporation to a company headquartered in New York in the last 36 months. I love that people hate on Cates for, and this is like why people hate on the Oilers because they don't get any information about the Oilers as people. If you are a billionaire, you are on the move
Sure.
because you got all that money. And people are like, Dale Cates the terrible Oiler because he has a house here in Valley View and I rarely see the lights on. And as a result, I really don't think he's paying attention to the penalty kill. Give me a fucking break. The guy owns the most expensive house in LA. He owns the most expensive house in Edmonton. He's probably not staying at the Ramada when he rolls into New York. Let the man enjoy himself.
Yeah. And you know what? What drives me crazy are the people that say he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Dude shelled out, what, $1 billion in
Yeah.
salary alone
Yeah.
since buying the team? You're telling me he doesn't care? Sure, the Oilers
$250
make
million.
money. Quarter?
No, 600, bottom 08, 11, 70. Yeah, 700 million.
And then just
US,
in salary,
Canadian.
too.
Oh, for sure. Oh, inclusive of, yeah.
So
but
dude's-
this is his own fault because he's got to, all Edmontonians want is a fair shake and a square deal and to be told the legit truth. If he did one interview a year where he's like, I am fucking working on this, people would be like,
Who would you have interview him? Like if Daryl's
Ron
sitting-
McLean.
Rob McLean. I was going to say George Stroumboulopoulos would be good too.
Oh, yeah, he'd be all right.
Probably sitting down, just kind of have a chat. Jared, what do you think? Like if somebody's interviewing Kate,
Nardwar. The
Oh,
human
Nardwar would be
serviette.
great.
Give him a good gift.
Yeah, absolutely. He'd be like, here's your underwear from grade 6.
He'd give him something from Yogan Fruz. Remember Yogan Fruz?
Yeah.
You know Kate started that?
Really?
Exactly.
Did he really?
This guy.
Love Yogan Fruz.
Loved it. Sold it off.
Wow.
Just not playing around, man.
Man, frozen yogurt's legit.
It is.
Ron McLean sitting down with Kate's would be an amazing interview.
I think it'd be really good as well.
John Shannon interviewed him.
Yeah.
It was...
Eh.
He looked very tanned, as I recall.
Oh, Daryl did?
Yeah.
Of course, man.
Probably got tanning beds.
Probably.
Or he's just out there living
And
his life, playa.
vacations.
Living his life in the biggest backyard in Malibu.
Yeah. I've seen some yacht footage.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
he's out yachting.
Oh, yeah. Well, careful. That means something.
Does it?
Yachting?
I don't know what anything means anymore. Like I
I
can't
said
say
videotape to a guy who's a pro. I know.
I
what
can't say I party anymore. We're talking about breakfast is something bad now. I can't say anything.
I'll
can't
tell you what
say
yachting is
breakfast?
off the air. No. Wow, we told a fun
Oh,
story
yeah,
where
I
someone
get it.
offered a special K.
Yeah, I get it. You like to get wet?
What would you want Kate's to do right now? I thought I had a funny tweet. I'll pump my own tire here. Thank you very much. Because if you aren't self-promoting in this day and age, you're fucked. I said, how hilarious would it be if Kate's just strolled on the bench mid-game, took over, and expertly coached them to a 9.92 win, and then was
Great.
like, that's how you do it, boys. And
That'd
then
be great.
Or if he just gassed everybody mid-game.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be the best.
You.
Fired. And then he stood behind the bench like, with like an old fedora on, like watching the
Oh, yeah.
smoking.
Plaid jacket, like a tweed plaid jacket.
Yeah.
Just ask if there's any coaches in the crowd.
Or if like he just went and got like a stem cell research program in HGH and just beefed up the 80 Oilers till the point they could play again.
Oh, yeah.
And then signed them all to PTOs and then just re-iced the 80s Oilers.
Who wouldn't want to watch that?
Have you seen how good a guy like Schwarzenegger looks?
Oh, it looks great.
For sure they could get like Mark Lamb back on the ice.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe not Gretz. Moose is looking fighting fit.
Oh, Moose wants to play too, probably. He's raring to get out there, throw an elbow at somebody. Get out of town.
Legit, if you're Daryl Cates right now, Baggedmilk.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by
Thank
the
you.
way.
I'm very rich.
Oh, are you?
Thank you.
Congrats on the arena district.
Well, I've been working on it.
The buildings are going up.
Yes.
You were
Stantec
here-
Tower opened.
Amazing. You were here for that.
Thank you.
What would you do? What are you going to do to fix this thing?
Well, first of all, I'm going to get Connor in his penthouse.
That's true.
And then I'm going to build one of those funiculars from Connor's penthouse to the arena. He doesn't have to go outside anymore. That's step one.
Genius.
Step two is whatever else Connor wants. I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to go clear up his tab at the
Would you
casino.
meet with him annually? If you're
I think
Cates?
that, yes.
Do you think he does?
Why wouldn't you? You built a district around this guy.
Yeah.
You are investing $100 million over the next 8 years. Ka-ching, Connor.
Yeah.
I think you should.
I think you should too.
Because I want to know his unfiltered takes. I want it to be like, if I'm Daryl Cates, I'm sitting across from Connor McDavid, I'm just be like, carte blanche here, bro. Tell me. And then you can just get whatever's on Connor's mind without having to have it filtered by like, oh, my coach is here, my GM's here, whatever.
See, I think we're seeing an interesting thing with Cates that works in most businesses, but doesn't work well in professional sports. If you delegate something to somebody, you have to respect the chain of command. You can't just be like, oh, you're my manager of all the car dealerships, but then go on the lot and start selling cars out from underneath your manager. You have to put a team in place. And then if you want to change the team, you have to change the team, but you can't go around the team and start fucking with different parts of the business, because having somebody in there putting his fingers on all the little pies that he wants to, that does damage way more often than not.
Well, we've talked about Warren Buffett a lot, you and I. That's the
Yeah.
Buffett play.
Buffett play. Nobody calls Berkshire Hathaway because they got all they need, money.
Yeah. And then he's just like, he'll buy a business. He's like, you're doing your thing. We'll talk whenever.
And short of Cates rewiring his brain and becoming the 31-year-old GM of the Maple Leafs. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you should fire Kevin Lowe. Really? Do you really think Kevin Lowe's still making calls around here, folks?
Yeah. It's the Kevin Lowe thing is always weird to me because people never going to let it go. No matter what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like he's working on, whatever it is he's
in
doing.
community foundation initiatives and shit. I don't think Kevin Lowe's making any calls.
Or is he consulted? Maybe, sure.
Yeah.
But like, he's not making calls. He's not being like, Shirelli, this is what you should do.
And you can't fire Shirelli too fast because like part of the Oilers' problem was the revolving door of coaches.
Sure.
You got to give a GM, 3 to 5 years to do his thing?
No. Shirelli would go if it was up to me. If I'm
Okay.
Daryl Cates, if I'm
Okay.
playing Daryl
So
Cates
you
right
would.
now.
You'd fire Shirelli today.
Yes. Well, I would have fired him in the summer.
Don't say Keith Gretzky. Who would you replace him with? Do not say Keith Gretzky.
The guy I would have targeted is the assistant GM from Nashville, Paul Fenton.
That's random. Why?
Look at how well the Nashville Predators have been run since their inception.
Okay.
And this guy has been the right arm to David Poile the whole time. And I'm flexing. You can't say
Punch
I'm
arm.
flexing.
Yeah.
But he's been the right arm to David Poile the whole time.
Sure.
You tell me he hasn't learned about swinging big deals and all that shit?
I remember when they brought in Steve Tambellini because he was the right-hand man of the Canucks forever.
But they were a trash organization, though.
No, they weren't. They were the pride of the Pacific.
They were trash.
There's
What was
only
his
one
name?
Team in the Pacific.
I know.
Steve Tambellini?
No. The guy
Paul
in
Fenton.
Nashville. Paul Fenton.
Yeah. I think that's his name. I'm probably going to fuck it up. Somebody's going to be like, "That's not Paul Fenton, you dumbass." No, it's Paul Fenton. I got it. Yes, nailed
Nice.
it.
First try.
Thank you. That's why I have the goggle machine up in front of me.
I'd give free popcorn to everybody.
At least free popcorn.
This is what I've decided is the new play.
If Rona can give away free popcorn, you can give away free popcorn.
I would get Rona to be the sponsor.
Hell yeah.
I would go and make little tiny bags of popcorn for everybody, and I would nonstop pump up the fact that you get free popcorn. And I think that would fix the problems. All people really want is something for free in this day and age, Baggedmilk. When you're dropping 35 clams on 3 meatballs in Loge, free popcorn would be nice.
What about the Gretzky Lounge? You see that?
I did see that. So that's the old lounge up by the Loge they've redone into a sports bar.
I guess.
This shows me the arena's not working the way they thought it would.
Really? Why?
Because they would have designed it as the Gretzky Lounge from day one.
See, I thought they just lost title sponsorship of whatever that area was
I
called.
don't think it had a sponsor. Did
I
it?
think it was just called Curve. No, Curve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that it?
Yeah. I went in there a few times. You ever go in there?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. It was
Nothing to
it's
do.
Terrible.
Now you can
Why would
spend
you wanna go
70
in there?
bones and you get a buffet.
But I get to see a Gretzky jersey.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe
Which
the
one?
waiters.
St. Louis Blues?
Oh, you got to go Blues.
Have to.
Yeah. No, the Gretzky and Friends All-Star Tour. That's the jersey I'd want. Remember
I wanna
that
see
when he
his-
put together his own team in the 94 lockout and wheeled around?
I want to see his Pro Stars jersey,
Yeah. The serial TV show.
right?
Classic.
If I'm
knows?
Trevor Gretzky, that's what I do. I bring back Pro Stars.
Bo Jackson needs the money.
I go to the
Yeah.
Gretzky Foundation. I assume they have a trust of some variety. I get the money to bring back Pro Stars, and I market the shit out of that.
That's right.
Pro Stars are good. I can remember the taste right now.
Yep. Little stars with a hole in the middle.
Pro Stars.
There was 2 cartoons I watched on Saturday morning. One was the NKOTB. Of course, have to.
I thought you didn't watch TV as a child.
Hey, man, when I was a kid, I'm watching my 3 channels. Saturday morning cartoons,
Kids on
and I
the
was
Block?
watching
Yeah.
Pro Stars.
Hammerman?
I didn't watch Hammerman.
That's good.
That was a great show.
Do you remember the
MC Hammer?
Nintendo cartoon where the guy always had a fucking phaser in his pants?
Oh.
Just as an aside, said to Jay's in Cleveland right now watching football, and I said, anything you want me to say to the people on the podcast? He goes, no, just say the F word a whole bunch so people don't miss me. Doing my best.
On it?
My
There
old
was the
man.
Nintendo show, remember? And the guy always had a light phaser or whatever in his pocket.
Speaking of Nintendo, my old man, he's clean. He just bought a new house, so he's cleaning out his old place.
Uh-oh.
He calls me and he's like, I got 3 boxes of Nintendo Power magazines. Do you want them? So good. Nintendo
Did you
Power.
get a lifetime subscription?
Oh, we had a subscription. Absolutely, we did. Because there were some that they came with Game Genie codes in the back of the magazine. We're cheaters at the Baggedmilk house.
I remember.
Assistance. Wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
It was assistance.
There were tips.
Yeah.
Good tips.
Tips.
Walkthroughs.
Do you remember the shorter, the pamphlet Nintendo thing you could get sent to your house? It wasn't Nintendo Power, but it was like Nintendo Power Lite. And it was just like a brochure about
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, in the 90s, if you sent something to my house, either me or my brother are going to get it. We both had Columbia House for like 6 years, spending $40 a CD until we were
Unbelievable.
20.
Unbelievable.
Nintendo Power, same thing. Give it to me.
Love it.
There was an option on Nintendo Power to subscribe for life.
Yeah, which is a terrible
And I remember-
idea looking back.
Yeah. Papa Wanye, which we'll call my dad, he made 2 very astute decisions on my behalf in my life. The first one was, Dad, I want to get Nintendo Power. Sure. I want to get it for life. You're not going to care in 5 years. Why don't you just get the 2-year option rather than, but I want it for life.
It'll be done in 5 years.
That was one.
Yep.
Number 2, at the height of the hockey card craze, I was showing my dad all my hockey cards. I'm like, check it out. I'm richer than you, son. Because you called your dad son in those days. And I'm like, look at these Ed Belfour rookie cards. These are worth $30 each. And my dad was like, really? For sure they're worth $30 each? I'm like, anyone will buy these for $30. I have a Beckett magazine here that says $30 for an Ed Belfour rookie. And he said, fine, let's go sell 4 of them. And we went down to White Ave, or wherever the hell you went, Warp 1 or whatever it was. And they only gave me half the Beckett value for them. And I was livid. And my dad took the money, put it in an envelope, put it above the fridge, thus making a 10-year-old Wanye unable to go and get that money. And like a year later, he came to me and was like, hey, here's that Ed Belfour rookie card money. Do you want to go buy them back? Because that was his whole thing. Sell them now. You can buy them back because no one's going to give a shit. And I was like, Dad, hockey cards are so last year. I'm super into Pogs now. That's how I'm retiring.
Yeah. I just don't like keeping stuff.
Like this Smitty shit we got on the walls are all pretty rad.
But this
those
is
aren't
cool. This is in your
isn't
office.
This isn't monetary value. This is like Ryan Smith's Moose Jaw Warrior jersey signed the night he retired in Moose Jaw, and Oilers Nation was the only people there covering his retirement.
Yeah.
That has a ton of sentimental value to me. My sister went to a Christmas party with Jay, and it's good he's not here so I can tell all sorts of stories about him, and he doesn't listen to this podcast because nobody does. And my sister says to me, you won't even believe what happened. We went to that Christmas party, and Ryan Smith was there. And so my sister's like me. If you see somebody of note, you run in the opposite direction. And she said, and Smitty just looked over and saw Jay and went, hey, Jay, come over here. And Jay was like, whatever. That is a sports memorabilia of priceless value. The fact that Smitty knows who you are in your head and wants to talk to you in a social situation. I couldn't live like that.
I got to give my plan, though, was I wasn't going to talk to him. I was just going to gaze at him from afar, and that was enough for me. Gregor introduced me, so I'll give a shout out to Gregor.
I get nervous meeting Gregor, and I've known him for 11 years, let alone going and talking to Smitty. Jesus Christ. Guys like Gregor and Jay and those guys, they're just like not wired to think anyone's better than anybody. I think a lot of people are really good.
Yeah.
Like if I went to the ranch and bumped into Fesser, season 21 of Fessy, 21 of Big Brother, I'd be starstruck.
Sure.
If I saw Dylon from season 3 of Making the Band. Do you remember that guy?
Dylon.
I'd be thunderstruck, even though he probably works at a car wash, which nothing wrong with that.
I miss those Making the Band shows. What was the Canadian one? Like Sugar Crush or something like, no, Sugar.
Well, Danity Kane.
Yeah, that was that one. Then there was
Velvet Empire.
Oh, the names too. Velvet Empire.
Oh, the best.
Oh,
it's like they just took a random word generation machine and went, here's our demo, spit out 2 terms.
Yeah. Well, that's how Post Malone got his name.
What?
Yeah. He put his name, Austin Post, in a rap name generator and it spit out Post Malone.
So did Gambino. He did a Wu-Tang name generator. Childish Gambino.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Wow. That really?
Yeah.
Let's call it a day.
All right.
Everybody who listened to this, please send a note via Twitter to us and we will redeem you for 1 hour of your life back because we have fucked you over this week. Goodbye.